episode about the A-Team series, I caused a little bit of controversy as I referred to George Peppard as George Peppered, which really seemed to trigger some people in the comments section. One guy in the comments section in particular wasn't so much angry, just really disappointed, talking to me like I was his son, saying something like, "You just couldn't do it, could you? Trust you to get it wrong. You just couldn't get it right. You never get it right." But you know what? I don't mind these comments as they do motivate me to do better, and I got it wrong. But in a way, me getting the odd name wrong here and there just adds to my lovability and charm, right? Okay, maybe not. So with that, 10 things that you didn't know about the A-Team movie. Let's check it out because I love it when a plan comes together. Number 10, the movie went in development in the 90s. The A-Team may have been released in 2010, but its development can be tracked all the way back to the 90s. The original A-Team series started in 1983, but after 4 years and 5 seasons, it was cancelled in 1987 due to an increasing drop in viewership, with it being felt that the hype of the A-Team had now passed. However, one person who didn't give up on the show's hype and wanted to bring the A-Team back in a glorious and spectacular way was the show's co-creator, Stephen J. Cannell, who was trying to get a movie version of his former TV show off the ground. One of his original visions was updating the premise from focusing on Vietnam War veterans to basing the story around the Gulf War. Over the years, several scripts would be written, with several writers coming and going, along with many setbacks and delays, with all sorts of ideas being thrown around as to what an A-Team movie could be about. So needless to say, there was probably a lot of cooks in the kitchen, each with their own ideas. And, well, the production was going nowhere. Well, for the time being, anyway. Number 9, it could have been a Sylvester Stallone vehicle. So the production of the A-Team movie would find its way to 20th Century Fox, and as IMDb puts it, none other than Sly Stallone himself got hold of one of the earlier A-Team scripts that had been sent to 20th Century Fox, and was interested in making the movie. Now this really would have been up Stallone's alley, as he already had experience playing a former war vet, that of course being Rambo, and the A-Team Sylvester Stallone version would have seen Stallone directing the movie and star as Hannibal, which once again would have made sense as Stallone would have been about the right age. But for whatever reason, the A-Team movie in the hands of Stallone didn't end up getting made. You know, I like to think that it's because Stallone didn't get to make the A-Team that this is what actually got him to make the Expendables. And when you think about it, they actually are kind of similar. And the Expendables came out the very same year as the A-Team movie. Number 8, the movie finally got a director, and then he left. So finally it seemed that strides were being made with an A-Team movie, and that at last things were going forward when director John Singleton was signed on to direct the movie. In fact, Singleton had an impressive career as a film director, having directed Boys in the Hood, Rosewood, and Too Fast, Too Furious. And he already brought back an old franchise with the Shaft movie. Supposedly under Singleton's direction, his main choices of cast was Dwayne Johnson as Baracus, Mel Gibson as Hannibal, Jim Carrey as Murdoch, and Christian Bale as the Face. But according to GamesRadar.com, in 2008 Singleton left the production thanks to creative differences, as after working on the movie's development, the studio wanted more changes to be made to the script, despite many drafts already being made, along with the movie's release date being pushed back, making the process sound painstaking. And so, probably out of frustration, he walked. Number 7, Ridley and Tony Scott ended up backing the movie. So finally, Smoking Aces director Joe Carnahan was hired as the director of the A-Team, and this time the job would be seen through. Carnahan would also work on the script alongside actor-screenwriter Brian Bloom, who previously starred in Carnahan's Smoking Aces, who also starred in the A-Team movie as Pike, who would also go on to co-write the video game Call of Duty Modern Warfare, as well as Skip Woods, who had written several action movies, including Swordfish, Hitman, and X-Men Origins Wolverine. And legendary movie-making siblings Tony and Ridley Scott would end up getting involved in the A-Team, with their company Scott Free Films backing the movie, alongside other companies Dune Entertainment and Top Cow Productions. Ridley Scott would act as executive producer, and Tony Scott would produce the movie, alongside 5 other producers, one of them being the A-Team's co-creator, Stephen J. Cannell, who, as mentioned, had been trying to get the movie off the ground since the 90s. Number 6. Casting possibilities. So along the way of the A-Team's long setback-ridden production, there were many casting possibilities as to which actors could be used to recreate the iconic A-Team. At one stage during the production, Ice Cube was the #1 person to play Baracus, but that didn't end up going through. IMDb offers a freaking huge shopping list of potential actors who were considered throughout the early production stages of the film. When it came to Murdoch, actors considered were Ryan Reynolds, Sean William Scott, and Woody Harrelson. For the larger-than-life Baracus character, Common, Marshaya Ali, and Game were considered, as well as Amber Heard and Olga Kurylenko for Lieutenant Sosa. And Tom Cruise was also being considered for the face, and many were considered for Hannibal, including, but not limited to, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Harrison Ford, Bruce Willis, Nicolas Cage, and Bill Paxton. If I had to choose out of any of them, it'll definitely be Bill Paxton. That sounds like it would have been epic. Number 5. Original cast involvement. So when it comes to the actual casting of the film, it seems the production really went with a cast who were of the moment at that time. Heck, many of them still are, including Liam Neeson as Hannibal, whom had just starred in Taken and had to dye his hair for the part and be constantly chomping on cigars, despite being an ex-smoker. Hey, fingers crossed they were prop cigars. Bradley Cooper as Templeton Peck, aka The Face. He had just made it big at that time, having starred in The Hangover. Sharlto Copley as Howling Mad Murdoch. Likewise, he had just wowed everyone thanks to his movie District 9. And professional wrestler Quinton Rampage Jackson as Baracus. He was a UFC light heavyweight champion. And Jessica Biel as Sosa. I swear back then Biel starred in everything, but she seems to have disappeared since, well, at least in movies anyway. As well as Patrick Wilson as the villainous Agent Lynch, who was also taking off at that time, having just starred in Watchmen. There was, however, a desire to try and get the original cast involved with the movie, in some capacity. Now, original Hannibal actor George Peppard was out of the question, as he died in 1994. Mr. T turned a cameo down as he felt protective of his Baracus image and didn't want to star in an A-Team remake and not be Baracus, so he declined. However, Dirk Benedict and Dwight Schultz would appear in the movie. Benedict played a random guy in a tanning bed in a camp, and Schultz played a neurologist. According to IMDb, yes, it always goes back to IMDb, Dirk Benedict would go on to say that he regretted making a cameo for the movie, so it sounds like he didn't like it. Even Mr. T didn't think highly of the movie, objectifying to its violence and the fact that people actually die in the movie, whereas in the show, no one was seen to get hurt. So, yeah, that really bugged him. No matter what you want to say about the A-Team movie, one thing you can't deny is that the cast is actually really, really good. Like, they just chose the right actors for those characters. In fact, I would have imagined that the A-Team movie would have been a dream job for Sharlto Copley, as he was a massive fan of the A-Team show when he was a kid, as you can see him here with a Baracus birthday cake, when he was just itty-bitty. Number 4, filming location. The A-Team movie was filmed in the Great North itself, Canada, with studio filming taking place at Mammoth Studios, as well as other locations including British Columbia, Ashcroft and Vancouver, as well as aerial footage being filmed around Cologne, Germany. While filming, Bradley Cooper and Liam Neeson got along well, to which Cooper encouraged Neeson to film a scene in the then upcoming The Hangover 2, which Neeson did. He played the street tattooist, but his part needed to be recast as Neeson wasn't available for reshoots. But hey, we're now getting into another movie, so time to get back to the topic at hand. Apparently, Cooper really got into his weapons training for the film, so much so he could reload an M4 rifle in less than 4 seconds. And apparently a shot of Cooper reloading the rifle in this speedy time was filmed, but it ended up being cut from the final movie. In the movie's early days of production, it was announced that Bradley Cooper and Quentin Jackson were starring in the A-Team movie, but Cooper initially denied any involvement, as did Jackson's representatives. I don't know why that initial denial took place. Probably to keep away Snoopy reporters, but who knows? However, in order to film the movie, Quentin Jackson had to put off a fight that he had planned with Rashad Evans at a UFC event, which caused something of a conflict with UFC president Dana White. Jackson then revealed that he's done fighting, but he would end up fighting Evans the following year. Even the A-Team van got a new face for the movie, as the van provided was a custom 1994 Chevy G20. Number 3, music. So another big question is, who could provide a big and epic score of the A-Team for the 2010s? Well, the production turned to none other than the legendary Alan Silvestri, who honestly needs no introduction, having scored classics such as Back to the Future and Predator. Silvestri would score the music for the A-Team with a 90-piece ensemble of the Hollywood Studio Symphony. I don't know what that means, but hey, it sounds pretty impressive. But regardless, it sounds like the A-Team production was getting plenty of bang for its buck. In fact, at that time, Silvestri was increasingly becoming prominent in composing big franchise movies, as he previously just scored the G.I. Joe movie, and afterwards would score Captain America: The First Avenger, followed by the following 4 Avenger movies. Yeah, look, I know this segment is short, but you see, the other day I ordered this green hat online, and when the hat finally arrived, it was actually a green hat that was covered in purple polka dots. And I've forgotten where I'm going with this, so let's just move on to the next segment. Number 2, tie-in cell phone commercial. So in order to get the A-Team movie out there, there was plenty of merchandise along the way. In order to get people excited for this new theatrical version of one of the greatest TV shows to come out of the 1980s. And this would make sense too, as the original A-Team TV show was relentless with all its merchandise available for A-Team fans. You know that shit's gone real when you can even buy a bar of A-Team soap. Well, to help promote the movie, there was a series of comic books which act as a prequel to the movie. The series was called The A-Team War Stories. There were 4 issues, with each issue focusing on each member of the A-Team individually. There was then a follow-up series which acts as a sequel to the movie, called The A-Team Shotgun Wedding. Then, of course, there was an A-Team action figure lineup. I honestly don't mind them. Now, granted, I only just found out about them now, but, you know, they look great and do capture the characters' likenesses really well as they are seen on screen. There was also a side-scrolling video game, which was an app for the iPhone. So I guess if you don't have an iPhone, tough, you're not playing this game. Once again, I didn't know about this game till now. However, to me, the strangest and most unique part of marketing associated with the A-Team movie is a cell phone advert for the UK cell phone company Orange. The advert features clips from the movie, along with additional scenes with the cast filmed specifically for the advert. In fact, this advert was filmed during the movie's shoot, of which filming the movie had to cease for a few days so the commercial could be shot, where in the advert we see members of the A-Team with Orange products, including an orange box of tissues? Yeah, sure, why not? The orange logo even ends up on the A-Team's van. Wow, just imagine if in an A-Team movie or TV show they started advertising corporate-sponsored logos on their van. Oh, yeah, I don't think the fans would have liked that. Number 1, the sequel was cancelled. The A-Team was released in June 2010, and it made just over $177 million on a budget that sat somewhere between $100 to $110 million. So, sadly, expectations weren't met, and its box office intake was considered a financial disappointment. Now, there was a sequel in the works, with this A-Team movie set to start an A-Team franchise. But sadly, due to the box office numbers, all plans to carry on with a sequel were put to a stop, making this movie a one-and-done venture. The A-Team received mixed reviews from critics. The acting and action set pieces were praised, but most of the criticism drew from the script. Yeah, it seems behind the scenes there was a lot of issues with that damn script. A scathing review from Rolling Stone magazine described the movie as, quote, big, loud, ludicrous, and edited into visual incomprehension. And that was kind compared to the New York Post, in a review titled, quote, pity the fool who sees the A-Team. Ooh, they used Mr. T's very catchphrase to trash the movie. Ouch. I mentioned in my previous episode about the A-Team TV series that in my part of the world, the movie came and went and no one was really talking about it. It wasn't a big thing here at all. I think I may have seen a few trailers on TV, and that's all. And even they were really trimmed down to just being a few seconds long, so it didn't really wow me into going to see the film. Yep, here it literally came and went and no one really noticed it. However, what made me check out this movie and make this very video is that quite a few people commented in the comments section. Other than those who were annoyed about my butchering of George Peppard's name, they reacted to my comments about the film and said that they actually really liked it, and that it was underrated, and many agreed that the actors chosen for the movie were top-notch, and that it has good action. And yeah, look, it's just harmless fun and a mindless, dumb action B movie. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And it actually fits in with the show that it's based on, as the show itself was just a fun action romp with heaps of bangs and crashes. And ironically, the movie got a lot of criticisms that critics gave the TV show at that time. So maybe the adaptation was a little too accurate. Now, the movie isn't out to break ground and push boundaries and be a divine cinematic masterpiece, but it doesn't need to. It's the A-Team. It is fully aware that its job is to deliver big action sequences with unique, likeable characters, that's all. So I do mean this in the best possible way. It is a popcorn movie, and maybe as time goes by and the movie becomes more nostalgic, its appreciation will grow. So now 2010 is long gone, maybe it's time to go back and relive the A-Team movie again. And maybe if its appreciation builds up, we will finally get that sequel. There is still time. Yeah, I think there are worse things that you could be doing than watching the A-Team movie. It has action, spectacle and charm, and is led by a very likeable cast. So let's see how the movie fares up down the sands of time. Anyway, I'm Minty, and remember, it's George Peppard, not George Peppard. Get it right? Or suffer the wrath of the YouTube comment section. Grr. See ya! In 2010, the A-Team was brought back to life on the big screen in an explosive, action-packed reboot, led by Liam Neeson as Hannibal, Bradley Cooper as the Face, Quinton Jones as Baracus, and Sharlto Copley as Howling Mad Murdoch, where just like the TV show, our group of heroes are thrown in the slammer for a crime they did not commit. So not once for taking things lying down, this Special Forces group, aka the A-Team, head out on an explosive, action-packed adventure to defy all odds and clear their names. However, when the A-Team movie originally came out, it failed to really take off, and has somewhat slipped into obscurity, not as remembered or as celebrated as much as its Big Brother TV show that it's based on. So the big question is, could this theatrical interpretation of the A-Team have been overlooked and unfairly underrated? Or is it just no match for the 1980s TV show? In my previous episode about the A-Team series, I caused a little bit of controversy as I referred to George Peppard as George Peppard, which really seemed to trigger some people in the comments section. One guy in the comments section in particular wasn't so much angry, just really disappointed, talking to me like I was his son, saying something like, "You just couldn't do it, could you? Trust you to get it wrong. You just couldn't get it right. You never get it right. But you know what? I don't mind these comments as they do motivate me to do better, and I got it wrong. But in a way, me getting the odd name wrong here and there just adds to my lovability and charm, right? Okay, maybe not. So with that, 10 things that you didn't know about the A-Team movie. Let's check it out because I love it when a plan comes together. Number 10, the movie went